What would you like to see included in the federal budget?
Included in the federal budget, again, I'd like to see more money go towards the military, but directed at increasing the soldiers, the amount of soldiers we have, and also the amount of equipment we have, especially with helicopters and fighter jets.
I'm actually pretty happy with what they're doing with the federal budget. If they're going to make any changes, and I'd say small changes, more on the pollution front or the smog abatement front, would be my main concern. Otherwise, I think they're doing pretty good.
It would just be great if we could see a bit more support for small businesses that are still trying to recover since COVID. I know a lot of us got a lot of support during that really difficult time, which we're all super grateful for, but I know for myself personally, I know a lot of small businesses here in Winnipeg at least have had to shut down. So it's a bit of a hard time right now when we're in this recession. We all still haven't recovered from COVID. So if there was some sort of help that could be added to that budget, I know it would really benefit a lot of us small businesses, myself included.
A lot of people want to get housing, and the rates at which the interest rate is just alarming, and which is affecting a lot of Canadians to move forward to get homes. So I think in that section, the government should be considerate.
Well, healthcare is a priority. Daycare assistance is a priority. Now I'm thinking about it. Yeah. Pharmacare support towards a more fuller comprehensive pharmacare. And I like the dental care program, especially now that I'm retired and I don't have insurance.
Probably some attention to the housing issue, housing crisis. Some green initiatives would be nice in the next budget. I really think that like a number of years ago when there were incentives for solar panels and things like that, that was a great idea, and I'd like to see that type of initiative continued.
I mean, we're a country with a small population, aging population, and we're now pushing to get a lot of immigration in, which is good to help people come in, but we're not taking care of the people that are aging. It's just too much put on, just too many cuts for cost of living, and seniors can't afford it. It's just, I'm getting close to that age, and I'm concerned. I'm making sure I cover myself because I don't trust the government to have the money there for me now.
We have people on military pensions that can't afford a place to live, that are living on the streets. That's not all right. Yeah, I see it every day at work.
It is a really hard call between a lot more housing support and truly actually funding universal health care and covering things like pharmacy, vision care, and all the ways that Canadians are falling through the cracks with our healthcare system.
I'd like to see more money and more a variety of programs going towards housing in Canada. I think the federal government has really abandoned the responsibility over the last number of years, and I know they've introduced some new programs recently, but I think that they have a long way to go to make up the difference in the programs that have been canceled over the years. And I think housing is an issue all across Canada. It doesn't matter if you're living in a small community or a big community, it's an issue for people. And I'd just like to see the government get more involved, working in partnership with the provincial governments to improve affordability for housing in our communities.
I would like to see more money spent on healthcare so that the smaller communities can keep their smaller hospitals going and their ERs open.
I'd like to see more emphasis on our healthcare. It's more hospitals and like doctor clinics, stuff like that, yeah.
Mental health. I think mental health and literacy. I like to see people be able to read and make informed decisions, and I believe in mental health. I think that is too easy for us to assume that people want to be homeless or the drug addiction or alcohol addiction, whatever addictions that may be. People need help in these days, and I like to see that.
Well, as I am visually impaired, there's always more they can do for people with disabilities who work in the federal government and who are citizens of this country, because we're always having to self-advocate on a daily basis, whether it's on a bus or in our work environment. So I think they can always do more on that front.
I'd like to see the end of homelessness. I think that's the number one. Stats Canada saying it's up to 10%. A lot of it's hidden homelessness, but we see the people on the streets we've never seen before. I think it's ridiculous in a country as rich as Canada.
I think our obligations on the international stage are being questioned. So certainly we have to put some more money into our national defenses, right, so that we can help abroad more readily. I think what we're seeing in Ukraine is symptomatic of potentially some of the bigger issues that could occur, and we need to be prepared.
I would like to see more funding for vulnerable people, such as people living with dementia, people living on disability, and people with mental health issues. I think that people who are not able to, who are vulnerable and not able to ask on their own, we need to support those populations.
An increase in pensions. Why? I'm a pensioner. Plus, I've been here 20 years, but I've worked ever since I've been here. And I don't get paid very much as a Canadian pension, and I think I should.
Less deficit. Put your cards in order. Get your hand out of my pocket. I'm a happy guy.
I'd like to see more housing for the homeless, especially across Canada, because it seems to be a problem right now, right across Canada. I'm after traveling up through and seeing it for myself. I seen it 20 years ago out in Alberta, and now we've seen it more here in Newfoundland than ever.
I'm a retired nurse, and I really believe that things have to change in healthcare. It's terrible what's happened. I'm old enough, I'm now almost 82. I've seen so many changes in healthcare, and what's happened is just terrible. I graduated in 1963, and I worked elsewhere in Ontario, besides several hospitals here, and I can't believe what's happened. I just can't believe what's happened to nursing. I would never enter nursing now, never as a career. It's just, and I loved what I did.